What up, y'all? DC Faygo guy. As the title suggests, we're taking a Faygo break. So yesterday I uploaded my first vinyl review. I went ahead and uploaded the second one. It will go live tomorrow at noon. Tales from the Lotus Pod. So I figured we'll just take a little break and just chill and hang out and interact with the chat. You know, I've been with Carnival Spirits doing very many of the every Saturday afternoon hangouts, but I've never really done a hangout or a live stream of my own where I've just kind of chilled, just kicked it with the chat. And today I had some numerous shit on my mind. And rather than make a what you thinking about, I just decided let's go live. Maybe talk about some of this shit. But I mainly wanted to just come on here and interact with y'all. I have no camera right now. I turned it off just to do my voice. The homie Black and Red Ted does that a lot. And you know, I really like that kind of podcast style, maybe you could say radio style show, just chilling and listening to the voice. So I'm rolling with that. That's what we're doing right now. So you guys get a look at my ugly mug right now, which you know, that actually that picture, I have goals with that. Everybody has that goal to want to meet ICP, you know. And I think if I ever met ICP, if I ever finally shelled out the $100 to go see them VIP, I know what I would do. I would take 2 Faygo bottles with me, and I would have them each hold a bottle up to my head, just like the picture, and fucking have a picture taken of them holding the bottles up to my head, and just recreate that image right there. I think that would be epic. So that is a goal. Right now, I'm not sipping on Faygo. I've actually I've got a hell of a bad tooth right now, and so I'm sipping on water. I see people starting to pop up in the chat. That's what's up. That's what it's all about. I want to kick it with the chat today. There is no theme to this. It's just fucking taking a break from videos. It's taking a break from life, and just kicking it with y'all. So we got Wicked Juggalo. And that's the thing. Tonight seems to be the night that everybody's going to live stream, man. I was watching Black and Red Ted do a live stream. From there, I went and kicked it in Wicked Juggalo's live stream. From there, I ended up over in New Zealand Juggalo Guy Entertainment, NZJG Entertainment. I still know him as New Zealand Juggalo Guy, man. We're homies from way back in the day. Not back in the day, fucking few years now. I was up in his chat, which he was live streaming himself watching Wicked Juggalo. So I was in 2 different chats at the same time. It was some fourth dimension shit. I was watching him watch another live stream while he's like commenting and shit. It was so fucking weird. But yeah, so today's apparently the night of the live streams. So we got Nightmare Juggalo up in here. We got Frank. We got Tyler. What's up? What up, Ninja? What's up, bro? Mr. Hatchet, how you doing? The TX Juggler for life. And Gualier, dude, I'm gonna butcher your name so bad. Sarducci. I'm gonna call you Sarducci because I can do that. How's everybody doing tonight? Hell yeah, hell yeah. What up, J2? Whoop whoop. I don't whoop whoop often, guys. So if you guys ever like comment, if you guys notice when you comment whoop whoop on videos or even in the chats, I usually respond with an MCL. My clown shout out that I've always given out. I've never been a big whoop whooper. So if you ever notice that, that's me responding to your whoop whoop with the way that I kind of whoop whoop, if that makes sense. You know, Don Chaos has toyed with the idea of doing like a live Q&A also on Carnival Spirits. So if you guys have questions, we can make this into a Q&A if you guys want to. You want to ask me some deep personal shit, I may tell you, depending on how personal it is. Is anyone going to get Digital Voodoo? I've actually got my pre-order in. I was won over by the ROC with the fucking Prelude. I picked that up back in the fall. I'm not even going to pretend to remember when I got that, but I remember getting it in the fall. And I was won over because he impressed me with Zodiac Imprint. So I went ahead and I gave him a chance with his EP. I'm gonna try not to do that, guy. I'm gonna try not to cough in your guys' ears because I'm still getting over another cold. But I remember listening to the fucking Prelude and I was just blown away. So I went ahead and pre-ordered it. You guys know where my stance is with the MNE right now. I'm not going to shows, although I have the temptations. Like I want to go to the Psychomania tour, but I want to go to the Psychomania tour because Gorilla Voltage is going to be there, and they have fucking blown me away. But my stance with Magic Ninja right now is to just buy the CDs. And if there's an album that comes out that I don't care for, then the next time that artist puts out an album, I'm not going to pre-order it. I'm going to wait for it to come out, then listen to it. If I like it, I'll buy it. Because I'm a CD collector. I like having physical CDs, and to me, that little bit I want to give. I want to be able to buy a CD and have a CD. So to me, that's enough. That's enough for me. You know, that's enough for me. So I did pre-order Digital Voodoo. I do plan on reviewing it. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to do an actual unboxing. Sometimes when CDs come, if depending on the theme of the album or the title of the album, depends on if I theme my unboxings. Like the Murder, I had ideas for that shit when I first fucking pre-ordered it. I was like, all right, this is what I want to do. I want to film myself and do what I could to make it seem like I was getting attacked by a murder of crows. Did you see my edition video on this account? What did I don't understand the question. Did you see my edition video? I must be fucking tired because I'm not understanding the question. Everybody butchers the name. Cool. Bill. I'll call you Bill. I like that. Bill. Can I call you Billiam? Because there's a guy at work that his name's Bill, and I call him Billiam all the time. He seems to like it. So hang on. I'm going to scroll up here and read what else was said, if anything. Am I going to the gathering this year? I don't think I should say. Okay, good. Megs has got headphones in because she's been hounding me about going to the gathering. Now, we're going to the games convention. I really, 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 really fucking want to go to the march. I just don't think financially I can. And Megs is like pulling for me to want to go to the gathering. And I told her, I said, I just don't think we can swing it. Firstly, I was to the point where I wanted to go to the march more than the gathering. But Megs was like, we went to our first gathering last year. She fucking loved it. And now she wants to go every year. So her thing was she wanted to go to the gathering. I wanted to go to the march. Nothing came out as far as announcements for the gathering. They announced the games convention. I told her, let's go to this. It's close to home. And I definitely think it's something we can afford to do. So we got tickets for the games convention. And now that they finally are announcing the gathering, I told her, I was like, there's just no way we're going to be able to do it. I just don't think we can. We'd be lucky to be able to make it to the march. I really want to go to the march. So to answer your question, for me, it's 98%, 100% not going. And honestly, so late, I feel like there's not much planning into this gathering. That part of me feels like it's going to be a very small gathering. It's going to be not quite what it's been. It's really going to be hard to follow up the the 17th annual gathering anyhow, because that was just a great fucking gathering. And that's easy for me to say because I've only been to one, but definitely. What's the square root of 10? 10 doesn't have a square root. How do I feel about Isham and Nadas? I'm not a huge Isham fan. A lot of people have requested Isham over the years that I've done reviews. So um, I can't get into Isham. Some of the features he's done, some of what he's done feature wise with ICP and everybody, I like. Like I liked Isham in I Murder with Boondocks. That was pretty good. But I just can't get into Isham. I'm trying, guys. I really to give him a shot. I don't know, I'm not feeling it. What lies beneath says Kokomo. The Freak Show. Okay. Uh, I'm gonna do my best to not give away my location. Obviously, I've said before I live in Indiana, but Kokomo is a very close drive for me. So to have a show in Kokomo is like I want to go. I want to go. Just flat out. I want to fucking go. But my stance with everything and what happened at the beginning of the year tells me I don't want to go. And honestly, I'm not front when I say this, but I felt like at the Spooktacular Horror Show, Zodiac Imprint put on a better show than Twisted. I don't know. Seeing Twisted at the Gathering, Monoxide seemed kind of lazy with the way he would rap. He was he did that a lot, and it just drove me apeshit nuts. And he did it again at the Spooktacular Horror Show. So I don't necessarily want to go see Twisted. It's the fuck. Apparently, I need to get cough drops because I'm just going to keep coughing in your guys' ears. But I'm going to go see Twisted for the opening acts, and that's what makes me want to go to Psychomania is because of Gmoski and Gorilla Voltage. So I don't know that I'll go to Freak Show again. It's something I can easily go to. So it's like I want to go, but on the same hand, I don't want to go. But I know What Up Ninja has been trying to get at me for some time because he also lives in Indiana, and I do want to collaborate with him. But it's... he came up, he went to the Eat Your Heart Out tour back in February. I was thinking about going at the beginning of the year. Everything popped off the way it did, and I changed my mind. And actually, it turned out to be a blessing in disguise because when the show came around in February, I was sick as a dog. So, because he said, man, I'll travel. Where do you want to meet? But I was just so fucking sick. So, that didn't happen. Cody Zimmerman, Sink or Float is coming up. May is when it will return, and that's part of the other reason I wanted to do this live stream tonight, because I'm dipping my toes in the water a little more. I'm hosting my own live streams because Sink or Float will be live. I want to bring Sink or Float a live show. I want to do it live. I want to try doing it live. I think that'd be something great to do to help set it off, because Sink or Float actually was a slow series to start with. I would upload the episodes and it would take a couple weeks to even hit 100 views, which is not about views, but to me, especially if I do a series, if something's not really getting a lot of views, then it's telling me that it's not really clicking with my audience. So far, it seems to be really doing good because there's a lot of people telling me that that's one of their favorite things that I do with Sink or Float, and it's looking at the views, you wouldn't think so. But Sink or Float comes back in May. May 1st, I have a promo for it that I want to put out announcing the actual date that it'll come back. And I'm going to do something fresh with that promo. It's going to piss some people off, but it'll be fresh nonetheless. So that's what's up on that. Sister Hatchet said, I haven't heard the whole CD, but from what I've heard, I'll buy it. I'm assuming we're talking about Gorilla Voltage. Gorilla Voltage is the shit. The Damn Dirty Ape CD is the shit. They've got a fan in me. Why was I just thinking of You Got a Fan in Me? Clockwork and Mr. Gray, they've got a fan with me. They are fucking skilled, talented individuals. I have a lot of respect for Kung Fu Vampire. That's what made me pick up Apex. And fuck yeah, dude, they've got my respect as well. I would rather see ICP. I already saw Twisted. By the time, okay, I saw Twisted technically for the first time with the American Psycho Tour. By the time I saw Twisted, that was the third time of seeing ICP, not counting Dark Lotus, because I saw the Opaque Brotherhood tour, which obviously had Twisted in it. But it's Dark Lotus. It's a totally different show, totally different atmosphere as well. But the first technical time of seeing Twisted on their own would have been The Gathering, and then obviously seeing them headline their own tour was Spectacular Horror Show for me. Yeah. That murder review was fresh. Thank you very much. If you're talking about the beginning of the video, that was actually the ending of what was more or less my unboxing. I didn't do an unboxing for it. I did something different out of the box. I try to do that every now and again. It's not always easy to do. Like, I don't know if you guys remember when The Darkness came out, I did something very different with that one too. That was one I was proud of. But looking back at it now, I'm not, because the recording equipment I used was an iPod Touch, 4th generation iPod Touch, and I feel like the quality isn't as good as it should be now that I'm using better equipment. But for what I had at the time, fresh video. I know that sounds so arrogant, but that's what I try to do when I make videos. You guys know I was inspired by Psychopathic Reviews, so from being a viewer, I simply just try to think of what's something I would want to see. And that's what I do. Billiam is cool. Sweet. I'm calling you Billiam then. What up, NZ? I want to call you by your real name, but one time I called you by your real name in a chat, and I don't remember. You said something you like not cool, but I don't know if you were saying it to what I was saying or if you were saying it to the fact that I said your name. So now I'm kind of afraid to say your name publicly like that. Where is The Gathering? A lot of people are speculating it's going to be in Oklahoma. I have no clue. I've not really been following any of The Gathering news at all. I've followed it enough to know that the location has not been locked down. The announcement of the location has been pushed back a few times now. A lot of people are angry over it. The next thing is people are going to be mad about where it is. You know, people were mad that it wasn't announced. The next gripe is going to be, well, I'm not happy with where they're having it. Well, you can't always fucking have it your way, can you? The TX Juggler for Life says, I heart Sister Hatchet. Sister Hatchet is the shit to me. I think she's cool. She's very knowledgeable. Wicked Juggler says, I'm going to the march. Hell yes. I wish I could. I hope to go. This year is going to be my first gathering. I'm from the Netherlands. Hell yeah, dude. That is awesome. Helping your boy with Lego Avengers. I haven't played. Okay, I played a little bit of the Lego Indiana Jones. I'm not a big fan of it. The Lego Star Wars games are the fucking shit. I love those games. But I also like Star Wars, so it's easier for me to get into something if I'm a fan of whatever that Lego game is. May 26th, the new Shaggy 2 Dope. Who's ready? Fuck the fuck off, motherfucker. I'm ready. That's the fuck. That's something very exciting going on. I kind of wish I haven't already done reviews for Fuck Off and Fuck the Fuck Off, but I actually dropped those reviews my first year doing YouTube videos, so maybe I could do a re-review. I don't like doing re-reviews though, because then I feel like I'm Boy Bluish, like rehashing my shit and re-putting it back out. I don't really like doing that, although there's strong urges to re-review a lot of albums that I've reviewed my first year and my second year, because again, the recording was just an iPod Touch. I've only had the camera that I've been using since 2015, the middle of 2015. So everything from 2013 to then was all done on an iPod Touch, and the quality is not there that it should be. Like going back to my first year, I did a promo for the Mighty Death Pop review that I was going to do, where I read remember how they put out the intro or the story for the Mighty Death Pop online there in 2013. Well, I printed that off, I laminated it, and I cut it up into like puzzle pieces, and then I did the reading of it, and I popped a balloon and had it like the balloon fall on the desk into the view of the camera. But I didn't have editing software at that time either, so it was all done like 100%. Try to time that shit out right. The timing was off. The quality wasn't the greatest, and it was still such a fresh concept and awesome idea that I had, that I'm proud of it. That's why I leave it up. But it's one of those things. It's like I just want to redo it, but on the same hand, I don't, because it's there. It's part of my beginnings. But to see it come out in some good quality would be awesome. But it is what it is. Oh, shit, the chat keeps moving on me, so I gotta speed up with what I'm talking about here. I'm like halfway up to the top, and there's new shit being said, so I need to speed it up so that I can keep up with y'all. Let's see, how much is it to go to the gathering? Last year, tickets were $180 a piece. That was just for general admission tickets. Gathering location has not been announced yet. That's correct. April 11th is when it will be announced on the Juggalo show. The 11th is a Tuesday. Typically, they do the Juggalo show on Thursday, so I'm starting to wonder if they're going to announce it in another manner. So, What Up Ninja will be all up in that bitch. Gathering number 9. Hell yeah. You guys have a video. There was a video on What Up Ninja where it was like day 0, and I'm like, how the fuck did you guys get in on day 0? And they've got hookups, man. They're the shit. I can't wait for the Shaggy 2 Dope album either, man. Coughing from Dro? Actually, no, I don't smoke weed. I've had a bad experience with weed, so I don't smoke it. I did smoke some white sage, though. I smoke white sage. It's very calming, kind of meditative. I think maybe that's what irritated my throat. But, I mean, I didn't start coughing until I started talking. So I'm just assuming that's what's irritating my throat. Booming Words from Hell is dope. I do know that the Isham that I want to check out is definitely his older stuff, because obviously that's what inspired ICP. So if I'm going to check out Isham, it's definitely going to be the older stuff. Yeah, which is exactly what Billiam just said. You got to get some of his older solo shit. Isham, Dead Flowers. Good God. Check that out, or Closed Casket. Early E is good. Present E is boring. What about Tech Nine's tour, Strictly Strange? I'm going to that. I've seen Tech Nine. I went and saw him on the Hostile Takeover tour in 2012. I went VIP. I know it's funny. I went and saw Tech Nine VIP before I ever saw ICP or even Twisted. Shows what kind of fan I am, or what kind of Juggalo I am, right? Lubricate my throat there a little bit. Stevie Stone review. I don't actually have any Stevie Stone. I've actually made a video about this where I felt like I was misrepresenting Strange Music because I would wear Snake and Bat t-shirts. I have a Snake and Bat charm, but the only Strange artists that I have CDs of are Tech Nine. Okay, I take that back. I do have Prozac's Paranormal because I got a discount for it at the Hostile Takeover tour, so I ended up picking it up. Honestly, didn't care for it. I just couldn't get into it. But I do have, this is gonna sound so shitty too, but I do have Ritz's first album downloaded. I listened to Big Scoob's Hog that he put out just at the end of YouTube. I actually want to buy that, and I would like to buy some of Ritz's albums as well. So I do want to get into some more Strange Music, but as of right now, the only Strange Music artists that I have CDs of are Tech Nine. Yeah, we will make it happen. What Up Ninja? One day we will connect, and it'll be fucking awesome. I've only ever had I've only ever had one interview conducted with me, and that was actually a year ago tomorrow. It was April 1st. No, I'm sorry, April 2nd, 2016. The homie Hunter Valentine of the Juggalo Vlogs was doing Juggalo interviews, and I was the second interview that he conducted. The first one was with CPN, ironically, because people are saying I'm like a CPN 2.0. Whatever. Sister Hatchet is having serious withdrawal. She goes to the shows for the energy of the Juggalos. It is a high, and the gathering is like a constant high for several consecutive days, and then that high stays with you for a while. That's pretty much what spawned me to make the video about Blase Rose, the So Much Hate for Blase Rose, my 2 cents video I did. I did that literally the day after I got home from the gathering, because it was like, I'm on this fucking high and everybody online is just fucking talking shit. And I'm like, what the fuck, dudes? And they were based all their hate off of one song when I had already listened to the EP. And I'm like, what? I was triggered, but that was then. This is now. I've had my falling out with Blase Rose. And she actually tweeted me. She actually sent me a message on Twitter. Fuck it. I'll read that shit to you. Let me get my phone here. It's going to load. So she messaged me. What was it? Wednesday night. She said, I said probably, not because I knew this whole kick me off everything was coming, not because I did not want to go or had any intentions of skipping those events. Do not twist my words for your dramatic benefit. I responded with, if you say so. And she put, and everything I knew would happen has. I would call them every day asking if I was fired yet for like 2 months. I'm not going to promise to be at an event that I knew I was going to be uninvited to. Surprised it took them this long, but not surprised it happened. You can believe whatever you so choose. And I gave her a thumbs up because I'm not going to argue. That's not why I made the video. The video for me was I was tired of seeing her paint psychopathic. She was painting a picture of psychopathic in a negative light. And in my opinion, and in my point of view, I felt like she was leaving a situation out. And that was the fact that she told me that she had doubts that she was going to be at a show. And her reasoning being because she was so up in the air about the whole situation, which told me that she had the doubts of going herself. That's the way I interpret. I still interpret, even though she explained that she saw it coming. That's just the way I see it. So I'm not even going to argue. The video is there to give my 2 cents on that situation, which is funny because it's a what you thinking about video. But it was my way of showing that piece of information so people can take that and not just have what she's saying. That's why I did it. I wasn't out to destroy her image, but to defend the picture that she was, or, to help portray that picture with all the colors, because I felt like she's painting this picture and I had a color she wasn't using. I started splashing the motherfucker on the painting. So that's what the video's purpose was for. And that's why it's staying up. Let's see, just scrolling through here. Grail Voltage is fucking amazing. Hell yeah. TX Juggalo found American Psycho Tour on DVD at the library. What's up, Zachary? Sorry. For some reason, the part of your name, it looked like it said Charlie's. Alan wants to do a review channel, and he has hella CDs to review. That is the shit. I think that's awesome. There's a lot of review channels out there, but there's never too many. One piece of advice I will give you, and I'm going to give this to you, Alan, because you're right here right now watching. When you do a thumbnail, if you do a custom thumbnail, do something that's going to stand out. And what I mean is it could just be you holding the CD or something else like that. And the reason I say that is if you go right now and search on YouTube for Boondocks The Murder Review, you'll see like 7 reviews from individuals. Um, and there's like 5 of them that have the same thumbnail. CPNs, I kind of throw in there. He actually did a little something different with his, but it's still the album cover. Um, so do a thumbnail that's going to stand out, because when you look through that list, there's ones that they have the exact same thumbnail. You want something eye catching. So that is one piece of advice I will give you. Have a thumbnail that's going to stand out. I think you have to have a certain amount of subscribers before you can change the thumbnails. I don't remember. So if that's the case, then the video itself will generate its own thumbnail. So you should be all right for a while. But when you start doing custom thumbnails, I give you that advice. New Zealand Juggalo. You said not cool towards you saying I like Twisted Clown. You can say my name all you like. All right, Max. The reason I said that time was because I know you made videos about him, and I knew you were watching some of his stuff. I was just trying to troll you, bro. The thing is, my mentality with somebody I don't like, I don't even pay attention to them. I remember when you were on Carnival Spirits, I told you then, because you were making videos about Boy Blue. I said, just don't even pay attention to him. Do your thing, grind, put out videos, fucking shine. Don't worry about others. And that was kind of what I was going for with that. It probably was a stale decision, but that's why I had said, "Oh, you like him," because you were still watching him, and you were talking about him in your videos. When the way I look at it is, if you don't like someone or something, why pay attention to it or them? You know. What's up, little D? Little D is the shit. Little D, actually, I wanted to talk to you, man. The Strange Music mouse, I've actually stopped using it. I kept having problems with the damn thing. I would scroll down and it would start scrolling up on me, or I would scroll up and it would scroll down on me. So I was like, what the fuck's going on? I put a new battery in it and I still had that problem. So I may take my review down, because I put my review out and gave it great praise, and I don't want people to buy that mouse knowing that I said it's a great product, and now I myself am having problems with it. So, but again, shout out to you and thank you again for doing the review when I requested it that time. So, Wicked Juggalo says I despise the individual we were referring to earlier. The best thing I can tell you is just pretend they don't exist. I don't care for the Boy Blue, but I do everything I can to pretend he doesn't exist. I just do my thing. I grind. My first year, I made a video addressing Boy Blue, and I think it was the last time I've ever made a video directly directed at the Boy Blue. And I've just been grinding since. That's the best advice I can give you. Oh shit. Okay, the chat is literally going so far that some of them are pulling up to where I can't even see them anymore. I've really got to catch up. So I'm just going to kind of scroll through, and if there's something that stands out, I will comment on it. Amen, Sister Hatchet, to improving the Juggalo community. Much love, sister. Fucking Max is trolling. Wicked Juggalo. I think Twisted should do solo albums. I thought they were planning to. Who knows? I don't know what they would call them. You'd probably have the Slim So and the Wake and Baker. Yes, I know TX stands for Texas, but just to be careful, I just say TX Juggalo anyway. Ha. Did I see your edited video on this account? Oh, which one? Lil D's got all Strange Music albums. I believe that, man. You put out a lot of unboxings and reviews for Stranger Music. So go check out Little D's unpackaging and reviews. Did you order your fam kit box yet? I have no idea what that is. So, no, I didn't. I've actually been told by Panic17 to check out Brother Lynch Hung because he does a lot of horrorcore. Don Chaos in the house. What's up, bro? Literally, I scroll down and it says, nothing. Which I know he wasn't even responding to me, but that's awesome. Okay, actually, this was one of the things I have a notepad jotted here of the thoughts that I had on my mind today. And one of them was the whole Tech Nine and ICP interviews. I've said in actually a few videos and hangouts and everything like that that Tech Nine to me hasn't given ICP credit or props the way he should have a long time ago. He still mentions Juggalos in his music, so to me, I feel like he still shows us that love. But to look at that situation, the way that that Jay is seeing it when he was on that radio show and him not showing Juggalos the love they needed to, Tech Nine really seemed kind of tired in that. So I think maybe he was thrown off by the questions in general. Like they were asking him about the gathering. They were asking him how everything was. And, you know, I know Tech knows it's a party zone. So I really have no comment. Tech Nine's got love. Does he always show it? No. Should he show it more? Yes. I really think the Clowntown section of The Storm was perfect for him to finally fucking feature ICP, but it didn't happen. And I obviously this tells me at this point he's never going to feature ICP, which sucks because they gave him love and props when he was on the come up. So yeah, so some of the chat's actually gone away. I really gotta fucking catch up. What Up Ninja doesn't do reviews because everybody does reviews. Great, that's a great answer. I'll take that. I would love to see some reviews though. Hatchet Gear only 2 ABK shirts, both medicine bag. I feel like as far as I don't have Boondocks. I have one ABK shirt. I don't have any Blaze shirts, and I have just a couple of Twisted shirts. I really feel like Hatchet Gear needs to step up some of their designs. That's why I don't have some of those shirts. So yeah, I would agree that they need to up it when it comes to some of that shit. Cynical uses a Strange Music mouse with no problems. Maybe it's just me then. Maybe it's just me. So Little D says his daughter stomped on his and it was still working. Well, fuck, I got a faulty one then. Damn. Sister Hatchet says, I have to thank Blue for leading me to all of you. Other than that, I shall give him a big fuck you or a big middle finger, but I'm going to say fuck you. And that's really what's unfortunate is he's on YouTube and I'm sorry, this is my honest opinion, his fucking content is garbage. He doesn't title his title, he doesn't capitalize his titles to catch the eye. He gives away what the video's about in the title, and he's rehashing shit he's put out years ago, and he's just not doing anything creative and entertaining. It's just him talking every fucking time. And that's just not entertaining to me. I have a short, honestly, I have a very short attention span because I have ADHD. There's a lot of Juggalo YouTubers that I want to support and I don't watch because I just don't have a very long attention span, and it sucks. What Up Ninja called Blue lame as fuck on his channel live. Nightmare Juggalo, I did finally go check out that video of your Juggalos in Need contest. I think it is fucking awesome. That is definitely awesome. I wish you luck in being able to continue that because, you know, I've done a lot of giveaways over the years, and it's not always financially easy to do at all. So much love to you for doing that, and I hope that you can continue to do so. Just got an email that Twisted Shop is kicking off Fam Appreciation Month. Cool. I've noticed that, Max, and that's, you know, that's something I hope to continue to see. That's why I'm getting behind your cassette reviews, man. New Zealand Juggalo guy is getting ready to kick off cassette reviews. I'm not sure when, so I'm not going to put that out there yet. But that's something I'm going to get behind because you guys know I'm doing vinyl reviews right now. And cassette reviews is something I want to see. I don't want to collect them myself, but I want to see them. So I'm going to get behind that and help push that the best that I can. Yes, I saw the lawsuit. Bullshit. No, I do not want to babysit your 15-month-old. I don't have kids for a reason because I'm not ready for them yet. I need to get ready for them soon. I'm fucking 29 years old. That's what's up, Lil D. Tech9 always gives a whoop whoop when he sees his Hatchet Man tattoo. DJ Chemist says DC and CPN are my connection to the wicked shit. None of my friends or family dig it. So yeah, see, that's why I started doing the videos, because I have Megs in my life that's into ICP. My older brother still kind of is, but my sister, who originally got me into ICP, is no longer into them. So I didn't have a lot of people around me to share that passion with. And watching Psychopathic Reviews do what he was doing, I would constantly sit and just go through my albums. And that's where I was just like, why don't I do it? Why don't I try doing this review thing? I started doing that, and I love doing the reviews. That's why I still do them, because that's the core of what I started. But that's why I started doing the My Two Cents, the what you thinking about, because then it was just bringing up topics within the Juggalo world and just really getting conversations started about it all, and interacting with other people around the world that are passionate about it like I am. So that's initially why I do what I do on YouTube, because I love being a Juggalo and I love talking to other Juggalos. Oh, Eden's up in this bitch, fucking troll. Why do Juggalos take a gimmick? ICP. So seriously, what do you care? Get the fuck out of here. I'm getting ready to block you. Yeah, I don't want you up in here doing this shit. Cool. Wasn't anything. I mean, he got where he is now on his own, but back in 2003, putting him on tour and helping expose him to more fans, the Juggalos, did a lot for him. Juggalos are still a huge part of his fan base. That, I think, is what they did. So putting him on tour, bringing him out to the gathering, um, putting him on a couple records, Green Book, which that was actually before he even went on tour with ICP. So I'm pretty sure it was Twisted that made the first reach out that brought him into the Juggalo world. But they've helped embrace him. And yeah, I don't think he owes them, but I think it would be awesome for him to show some love back in that manner. You know, do a show with them, or just fucking put him on a collaboration on his album instead of doing one on theirs. you know, Tech put himself where he is now by grinding the way he does. His exposure and where he's at now is from his hard work. But again, back in the day when he didn't have a huge following, ICP helped expose him to more fans that are still a huge part of his fan base now. I'd love to see a first six vinyl collection. That'd be the shit. Yes, it would. I've actually got a fucking vinyl collecting fever right now. For the longest time, I was one of those skeptics. Vinyl can't be that great. I don't want to collect vinyl. It's expensive. But watching a homie Big Nick do the review he did for the Marvelous Missing Link vinyl, I was impressed. I was like, I really contemplated for weeks that I was going to start doing vinyl reviews. So I finally did it. I took the plunge. $150 to get 5 vinyls. Another 100 to get the turntable. So that was a hell of a chunk. That was a hell of a way to dive into it. But now that I'm into it, I actually the local record store here that I've got, we went to it a couple weeks ago, and I ended up picking up Alice in Chains. Alice in Chains Black Gives Way to Blue vinyl. And actually the other night, no, not the other night, last night, I was just going through looking at some old music, from the 70s. Fleetwood Mac. I like Fleetwood Mac. I like some Rush, some Eagles. I was just going through and be like, man, these fucking songs would probably sound great on vinyl because there's a crisp sound that vinyl gives. And I was watching a stream from New Zealand Juggalo guy, and he was talking about how the true vinyl sound comes from recording analog, not digital. And I know from that era, they definitely did some analog recording. So those albums, I'm like, I want to hear some of this shit on vinyl. And so last night I actually ordered I ordered both the CD because I've been wanting to get the CD for years. My mom used to listen to it all the time. It's a great album, but I ended up ordering Moving Pictures on CD as well as vinyl. So I have this bug now to start collecting a bunch of vinyl. And it's like my wallet's already screaming and I haven't even bought a bunch of vinyl yet. Let's see. Why didn't I get X-rated? I didn't get X-rated because I've got the CD X-rated, and for the longest time, I never wanted to get the CD, the X-rated CD, but I did it for collection purposes, and I actually did a custom video where I put the X-rated and the regular version together. And actually, you just reminded me I have to edit the end screen of my vinyl review for Tunnel of Love to include that custom video. So thanks for reminding me. If I can remember at the end of this live stream to go add that, I will. What lies beneath CPN's opinions are jaded. He writes Jay's dick too hard. People have said the same shit about me, though. So one of the things that was on my mind today actually was in regards to CPN, but I toyed with the idea of, because I like CPN. I have no problems with him. he's great friends with a lot of the Carnival Spirits members. So I really wasn't sure if I was even going to do the video talking about it. But watching his review for The Murder kind of irked me, because his biggest complaint, or his only complaint, well, no, his biggest complaint, because he had other complaints too, but his biggest complaint was that the album didn't fit. The music of the album didn't fit the theme of the album. And The Murder didn't really have a theme. I don't remember it being given a theme. It was just given the name The Murder. And he talked about how they hyped it up as being his darkest album, and I don't recall that either. I recall them saying it was his best, which to me is not. Crimson Creek is still number one, but he said some shit in his review that just irked me about album themes, and really what albums do stick to their themes. Not a whole lot. So I I didn't end up making the video, but it was something that was on my mind today. So look at that. I've already addressed 4 of the things that were on my mind: the album themes, the Tech Nine ICP interviews, the Rush. Oh no, I didn't. I didn't address the Rush fans. Uh, Another video I thought about doing was about the greatest fan base of all time, because I was watching, like last night. I said I ordered the the moving picture CD and vinyl. I was also watching some documentaries, and I ended up watching the Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction of Rush, and the speech that David Grohl gave from Foo Fighters. He mentioned the fact that the Rush fans are very like cold. I don't fucking remember his wording now. I do not remember his wording, and I don't want to screw it up. But basically said that some of the greatest hardcore fans are Rush fans, and they're only rivaled by the Grateful Dead. And it just made me think of Juggalos, and even maybe, if you want to say, Technicians. So that was another video I thought about making, was, what is the greatest fan base? But I don't think it matters, man. Fan bases are awesome because they embrace their artists, they love their artists, and that it is what it is, man. I need a damn cover for my YouTube page. You talking about the banner behind your? I'll make you one if you want me to, Lil D. I made one for Not Slim One, and he never used it. I'll hook you up with one if you want me to. Wicked Juggalo makes YouTube banners. I thought about updating mine, but I kind of like it, so I just leave it. How old says that? Just curious. She said before she's in her 40s, so she probably doesn't like bringing up her age, man. Wow, fucking shit just jumped on me. Eagles Witchy Woman. My mom helped expose me to some great music. REO Speedwagon, Journey, Kansas, Chicago, Boston. She listened to a lot of that older music from the 70s and early 80s. Moving Pictures was one that she had. So I definitely have an ear for some of that older music there. The one I haven't gotten into that she really loved, still does, is ABBA. But I mean, they got some catchy tunes. I'd be lying if I didn't say I danced along to Dancing Queen and shit. I'd be lying. Um, but she listened to Phil Collins. I like some Phil Collins. TC turning into an audio file. Uh, a little bit, yeah, maybe. Murder was dope. I'm gonna get off here. Subscribe to me. I'm clicking right now to go to your channel, and I will minimize that so that when I get done here, I can go check you out. Beatles have a huge fan base. I like some Beatles jams. It took a while for me to get into them. Wicked Juggalo, Bieber, the Beliebers, as they're called. They're not the worst fans. Rebecca Black fans are. What am I saying? That's totally fucking hater. I revoke that statement. Okay, he wants MNE logo, Strange Music logo, and Psychopathic logo, black and red. I will do what I can for you. I saw the same video, the claiming that Boondocks was leaving MNE. I saw that too. I'm pretty sure that was all clickbait. Yeah, and somebody was saying, I think in Wicked Juggalos, no, it was New Zealand Juggalo guys. Something about Hoodoo leaving Psychopathic. Come on, why do we gotta start rumors? Yeah, there it is. DJ Bloodbath. He was the one that brought it up. So there was a rumor that Big Hoodoo is leaving Psychopathic. I have not heard that. I do not believe that. I'm a horse's mouth kind of individual. I want to see it from somebody that belief. Everybody subscribe to What Up Ninja Dopest interviews on YouTube. Got to bounce. They gave Jim Cornette a live mic for Hall of Fame. Hell yeah. Go check them out. Dancing Queen is the shit. I mean, come on. How do you not dance to the Dancing Queen? Elton John, yes. Thank you, Cass. Elton John. I've been getting into Elton John a lot lately. Lady? What the fuck did I say lady for? But the radio station here in our town plays classic hits, but they play the same classic hits all the time. That was what eventually got me into Fleetwood Mac because I had never really heard them before working at my job that I work at now, which I've been at my job now for 5 years. And they play Dreams a lot. They play You Make Love and Fun. They were playing The Chain. They were playing Gypsy every now and again. Rhiannon, they were playing a lot, and I was just like, I like this group. So actually, this past Christmas, Megs' mom asked what I wanted. I said I want the Rumors album, so she got it for me. But how did I get to that point? Oh yeah, that classic hit station plays a lot of Elton John, and I'm digging some Elton John, man. And I ain't gonna lie, the shit he did for The Lion King, great. I remember being a kid and loving that music. But I like pianos. To anybody that hasn't heard the story, that's actually how I got into ICP. My sister had been listening to ICP for 5 years. I never cared for him. It just didn't click. The little songs I'd heard. But there's one night I'm in my sister's room playing Pokemon on my Game Boy. At that time, I'd been listening to Linkin Park's In the End. Has that piano in there. Fucking loved it. I happened to be in her room and Pass Me By came on and it caught my ear. And I started listening to it and I fucking loved it. And from there, just started listening to more songs on Great Milenko, jumped on to Riddlebox, started listening to more of that, Amazing Jekyll Brothers, eventually Ringmaster, and the fucking rest is history. That was 2002. Fucking 15 years ago. Jesus. I'm old. Sister Hatchet's rolling her eyes right now. I don't bump classical. Actually, that was another one that my mom listened to a lot that I just didn't get into was Yanni. Enya, I would almost count Enya as maybe classical. I like some Enya. Very chill, laid back music. Rumors is a great album, and I watched a documentary about it. And the reason that is because there was so much emotional drama with the band that it came out in the music. So you could feel the emotion in the music. I believe that that's why. I saw that too, Frank, about Elton John and Tech Nine. I would love to hear some shit with Elton John and Tech Nine. Again, I like piano, so if Elton John, I'm gonna bring this up. You know, I mentioned Alice in Chains' "Black Gives Way to Blue" buying the vinyl a couple weeks ago. The title track on that album, beautiful fucking song. Elton John playing the piano. It's beautiful. So I would love to hear what Tech Nine and Elton John would do together. Bring that piano in, hell yeah. Can you see the blood tonight? Wow. That depends. How long ago did your girl start her period? And what were you guys doing? That'll determine the answer to your question. Music is therapy. When I smoke white sage, I have to listen to music. I don't have to listen to music. I choose to listen to music, and typically I try to do positive songs, but it doesn't always have to be. Like today, when I got home, I smoked, and I was listening to the 7 Year Itch Greatest Hits album of Collective Soul. Good shit. Phil Collins, the Tarzan soundtrack. Yes. Thank you, Chaos. Great fucking soundtrack. Yeah. I honestly believe that that's why The Lion King was a good movie, and I believe that's why Tarzan was a good movie. I mean, obviously they brought other elements, but for me, those are the things that I got into. Like one of the reasons I love Dragon Ball Z as much as I do is the music. I got into the show because of a lot of the music. That's actually something I would like to get. I would like to get Bruce Faulkner's score of his Dragon Ball Z music that he composed for him. So that's definitely on my wish list. It actually literally is a wish list on Amazon to get those CDs. Enya is new age, bro. I'm talking Movar. Nah, I'm not. I'm not into classical. So the uh, the Trans Siberian Orchestra, I think it is. They do some Christmas music. I kind of like what they've done. That's probably the closest. Peter Gabriel, yes, Sledgehammer, great video, great song. Hell yeah. I think that was one that I surprised. That was one that I surprised New Zealand Juggalo guy with a few years ago. Was when I picked up Dire Straits' "Brother at Arms." He kind of blew his wig, kind of got blew back. He's like, "Whoa, bro, Dire Straits, hell yeah!" I do not listen to Rob Zombie. I've heard Dragula and Evil Dead Girl. Is that the name of it? I've heard those two songs, but that's it. We were just talking about this at work today. I never got into Def Leppard. Ironically, my sister played it a lot. I just didn't like it because of that. Which is ironic because she played ICP a lot. And again, for a long time I didn't get into ICP, but she I was in the right mood that night and Passed Me By came on, so the rest is history. And I'm so fucking thankful that that happened because I could not imagine myself not being a juggalo right now. So Never was a big Pearl Jam fan. The Def Leppard album my sister was in love with was Hysteria. I'm sure as Def Leppard fans that maybe your least favorite. I don't know. That's very presumptuous or assumptuous of me, just because of Pour Some Sugar on Me being so goddamn popular as it is. Yes, Rogue One comes out this week. Thanks, Chaos. I was gonna go look that up. I haven't heard Led Zeppelin. Hysteria was your favorite. Okay, so that was very assumptuous of me to say that as a Def Leppard fan, that was probably your least favorite. The reason I went for that was because of Great Malenko. I mean, a lot of juggalos will say it's their favorite, obviously, but I've also heard juggalos say it's one of their least favorites because of the mainstream success it saw. Game of Thrones season 7. I haven't even watched season 6 yet. Um, I've toyed with the idea of actually buying the seasons, but I'm just not there yet because they're like $30 a piece, and I've got other shit I'm getting into. Man, vinyls are about $30 a piece, so they're already gonna break me if I'm not careful. I like some Guns N' Roses. Not a huge fan. Sweet Child of Mine, November Rain. November Rain was my shit for the longest time. Actually, right before I got into ICP, I listened to November Rain a lot. But Metallica, they're good. Whiskey in a Jar, favorite Metallica song, hands down. I love the fucking tempo of that song, and just I just love that. I just love that song. Under the Moon is an amazing track. Ironically, weirdly enough, when I first heard it, I didn't like it. It took a couple listens. In that early in those early stages of getting into ICP, there was a lot of songs I didn't care for, like Chicken Hunting. Chicken Hunting took a while for me to get into. I don't know what it was. Same way with Killing Fields. And now I look back at it and I was like, you silly young fool. Because I love those songs now. I know people say Black Sabbath, but I don't care for Ozzy Osbourne's voice. Like Crazy Train, I think the beginning of that song is awesome. Then once the actual song starts, I stop it. That's the only part of the song I like is the beginning. We're getting into some like heavy metal here. We're talking Slayer, Megadeth, and Anthrax, all of which I've never really listened to. And not because I don't like them, I've just never listened to them. So I love me some Fear Factory though. Mushroom Head, a little bit of Slipknot. I stopped listening to Slipknot when I started listening to Mushroom Head. What's up, J Town Juggalo? Good times with chicken hunting. Um, yeah, I don't know why it was. I didn't care for chicken hunting to begin with, but it clicked. Actually, this same notepad that I have written, that I have in front of me here, I've actually, one of these pages had 3 songs written down: Chicken Hunting, Under the Moon, and Cotton Candy. And it was supposed to be, I think, a Daily Spirits topic that never came to be on Carnival Spirits. But it was supposed to be like the 3 songs or whatever that you didn't like when you first heard them. And those were it. And I've already talked about both of them: Chicken Hunting, Under the Moon, and Cotton Candy were the 3 songs when I first heard them I didn't like. But Cotton Candy had another reason. I didn't like Cotton Candy because right around the time I started listening to ICP, there was a girl staying with us that was actually staying with my sister, and she loved Cotton Candy, and I did not like her. I hated her. She was annoying. She was a bitch, and because she liked Cotton Candy, I did not like Cotton Candy. But years would finally pass. I would get Tunnel of Love, and I would actually listen to it. And I just completely erased Angel from my memory. Yeah, I'm actually a little excited for Digital Voodoo. I have an idea for how I want to do that unboxing. I think what I'm going to do is some reverse shit where I'm going to have it. I think what I'm going to do, and I'm kind of giving you guys like a precursor here. You guys get the sneak peek of into my mind. What I have vision in my head is just uh, trying to find like an old book, maybe at a thrift store or something, and have it sitting on the fucking desk, and then like have the lights go out, and then just have like record my voice just saying like ROC, Digital Voodoo, just different stuff like that, different chants or whatever, or shout outs like that, and then reverse them and lace them over top of the video where it sounds like they're voodoo chants, and uh and then the lights will turn back on and there will be the CD. I think that would be the shit. That's what's going on in my head right now. So who knows if that's what will end up becoming my quote unquote unboxing video for Digital Voodoo. We'll see how it goes. Nice, Ed Professor. I'm not into Hobson. I had a buddy at work, knew I was a Juggalo. He had a Juggalo homie. He loved Hobson. Um, I couldn't get into Hobson. Chaos. I would love to see Daily Spirits come back, but I don't know what's up. We just can't seem to get everybody on board to keep it going. To keep it going. That's why I tell Crazy McCormick that I hope they have great success on Juggalo a Day, because so far they've gone. I'm pretty sure they've gone longer than we ever did with Daily Spirits. So I hope they continue to be successful like that, because I enjoyed Daily Spirits, but I think with schedules and life, it was just hard to keep everybody on the same page to putting out the videos. Who thinks that Twisted did to ICP is karma for Violent J doing Esham like that? What exactly did Violent J do to Esham? Because I'm pretty sure he's shown Esham so much fucking love. Even though Esham continues to shit on them and shit on Juggalos, they still give him love. Yeah, those what ifs that you were doing, Chaos, were definitely thought invoking. I remember I jumped on. You did the what if Amazing Jekyll Brothers was two different. That was the last what if I did, because I almost did a series similar to yours about a year before, because I did the what if Twisted never joined Psychopathic, and I was intending to do a second one of what if Eminem joined Psychopathic, from when Monoxide was talking about how he was trying to get Eminem a deal with Psychopathic. Okay, Nick, you keep asking the same question. I've already addressed it, and I've already asked you a question now, so it's your turn to answer me. Oh, yeah, Sister Hatchet, Daily Spirits. The original idea for Daily Spirits, actually, I actually came into Carnival Spirits right when they first started up Daily Spirits years ago. The idea came from the old Juggalo a Day channel, because Callie Green Too Fresh, a current member of Carnival Spirits, used to be on the old channel. And at the time, Fat Man Jersey, who was also a member of both the new and the old Juggalo Day channel, he was also on Carnival Spirits at the time. So they had the idea to bring in that concept of Juggalo a Day, where they had the topic and, different individuals would make a response. We just called it Daily Spirits. It then got changed. I think we brought it back, last year, Chaos? We brought it back, but we called it Carnival Spirits Weekly. I didn't care for that name, but, I'm one member out of, 6 or 7. So, my vote stayed with me. Call it whatever you will. Daily Spirits, Carnival Spirits, Weekly Spirits. It's all the same. But that was where the idea came from, and that's what we did. I would love to see it come back. It's just getting everybody on the same page to doing it, to keep it going. Because the idea was, when they first started doing Daily Spirits back in 2013, Carnival Spirit members would come up with the idea or with the topic. They would make their responses, but they encouraged other juggalos to make responses. So actually, if you go onto my channel and go back to, like, I want to say August of 2013, there's actually a few videos on my channel titled Daily Spirits, and they were targeted at that Daily Spirits that Carnival Spirits was putting out. Now, that was before I became a member. I was doing these responses before even becoming a member. I honestly believe that's what led me to get to get invited to Carnival Spirits, was the fact that I was actually making the responses to what they were putting out. That, and there was a poem I posted up on the Spirits of the Dark Carnival Facebook page, and like a day later I got invited. So I think I was knocking at the door just the right way, which I wasn't trying to. I was just trying to show love to another awesome fucking channel in the Juggalo community. Because Psychopathic Reviews inspired me to make reviews, but Carnival Spirits inspired me to make vlogs. Would you call them vlogs? Or would you call them blogs? Not like the life vlogs where you actually take people around with you, but where you turn the camera on and you start talking. I'll just call them vlogs, because that's what they is. But that's where What You Thinking About, My 2 Cents, those came from watching Carnival Spirits. I was like, I want to do that. I want to turn the camera on. I want to talk about a topic. That came from Carnival Spirits. So initially, when they brought on Daily Spirits, I was all for it, because it gave me something to talk about in the Juggalo world. I was on that shit. So the concept and idea for Daily Spirits from day one was to always have other juggalos that weren't even on the channel make responses. Not many did. And it eventually got to a point where even some of the members, life goes on. People get busy. But it got to a point where it just fizzled out. I would love to see it come back, though. And I would love to see juggalos that aren't even on Carnival Spirits make responses. I feel like Daily Spirits had that potential to unify so many people, but I think timing might have also been a bad factor, because, 2013 was when it was the first year after Twisted left. So I think there was a lot of division that first started to crack back then. Oh, yes, you're not even joking, Chaos. We've had a lot of people come and go on the Carnival Spirits channel. The core ones that are still there from when I first started is Beastmaster, Cali Green Too Fresh, Don Chaos, Panic 17, and that's it. Those guys were on the channel when I first started, and they're still there. I understand how you feel, sister, not knowing the YouTube history. When I hear CPN and Crazy McCormick and even Beastmaster a little bit talk about the community before I even joined, because before I started making videos, I knew of Psychopathic Reviews and I knew of Juggalo, which he doesn't make videos anymore, but he's still out there. He was with Carnival Spirits for a short time. He was going by the name Scary Gary at that time. But I knew of him. I knew of Psychopathic Reviews. I knew of another guy who went by the name of CG Soldier, but he changed his name to like Mike Spawn, I think it was his actual name. And I knew Scotty Two Balls. I knew of his channel. Those were the only Juggalo YouTubers I knew. And obviously Boy Blue, which who cares? But those were the Juggalos I knew. And then it's like I started making videos and I started to get into the community more. And that was when I found Carnival Spirits. Once I found Carnival Spirits, fucking gateway to the rest. And it was like there was this history that I had no idea about. Like I knew that's when I learned of CPN. I learned that Panic was doing it for a while. Chaos was doing it for a while. Cali Green Too Fresh had been doing it for a while. Scotty Two Balls, obviously, I knew was doing it for a while. Yeah, I caught up on all that shit pretty damn quick. And it's like I've been doing this now for 4 years, and I still feel like an infant. Even though I just hit 1,700 subscribers, I still feel like an infant in the Juggalo community. The YouTube Juggalo community. Let me throw that back out there. Yeah, I do too, Blackie Red Ted. I love hearing about the way things used to be. But on the same hand, it sounds like it was so much more drama filled. And right now, it's like, it's love. Because it's crazy. I'll go into a live stream, I'll jump in the chat, and I'll say what's up, and like everybody comes at me, hey, what's up, DCFAYGOGUY, what's up? And even in the actual stream, they'll start giving me shout outs. It's like I'm just here to mingle with y'all. So I think there's definitely a lot more love. I wasn't around for all that, but to hear them say some of the some of the drama that was there, I think it sounds like there's less of it now than there was back then. Yes, Jekyll Juggalo was he almost got me to debut my channel in 2010 because he was doing unboxings. And I remember when Gang Rex came out, I had this big ass USPS box that I was keeping all my CDs in, because at the time I could fit what I had in that box. And Gang Rex came in, and I had my phone that I was going to record on, and the whole joke was I was going to have this big ass box on the desk at my aunt's. I was living in Georgia at the time. I was going to have this big ass box up on the desk, and I was going to be like, holy shit, look at this package from Hatchet Gear. Pull it out, and it's just Gang Rex. That was going to be the joke. But as I started to like try to record it, I felt like an idiot. So I never did it. And I actually commented on one of his videos back then saying that I was going to leave it to the pro. Actually, it was on his Gang Rags unboxing. So he almost inspired, he did inspire me. I'm not going to say he did inspire me to to almost debut. I almost debuted back then. So, but yeah, Psychopathic Reviews, he's actually doing a new thing. I don't know if everybody's into gaming or not, but Real Life Arcade. He's doing a gaming channel now. And it's pretty awesome. And I actually, on the first episode of it, I told him, I said, it's awesome to see you still doing, it's awesome to see you doing videos. And from one passion to another, because I knew he was a big gamer, because he had another channel before he did Psychopathic Reviews, where he did gaming reviews, basically. So he went from gaming to psychopathic reviews back to gaming. So it's awesome to see him doing something he's loving. I've talked to him before about how I miss his stuff, but I mean, your heart's got to be in it. So I think his passion has shifted right now, and that's cool. I would love to see a return. Because when I first came out, man, I told him pretty quick that he inspired me, and he was touched by it, and I think he kind of took me under his wing a little bit. I don't know if he would admit that or not, but we had a little friendly competition going back and forth. And I don't want to sound arrogant, but it seemed like when I came into the picture, he stepped up his game a little bit, because the 4th of July, 2013, he did his Independence Day review for Twisted, and he had fucking sparklers lit, just going, sparks flying all over his fucking CD, man. He destroyed his CD cases. And at that same time, then I was going to do one, and I it was nowhere near as fresh as his was, but I feel like I helped inspire him to step up that game of bringing something creative to his reviews, because I was kind of trying to do that. Like I said, with the Mighty Death Pop thing that I did that in like May of that year. So when he did that review of Independence Day, I grinned so hard because it was so fucking fresh to see him do that. Let's see. New Zealand Juggalo guy said Carnival Spirit seems to keep up. It seems it's just every Saturday afternoon. Beastmaster has said he kind of feels like that has taken away from the channel. I don't know how much to really speak on this, but he's talked about wanting to quit doing those hangouts because he feels like it's taken away from putting out actual videos. But every Saturday afternoon hangout has become such a tradition for a lot of Juggalo YouTubers, and I don't think it would be wise to get rid of it. I think we just need to step up on doing more individual videos. Like he has said, we pretty much wait to speak our piece on anything until the hangout. And that's just something we've got to step up and stop doing it. And myself included, there's a lot of times that I feel really guilty because I push out so many fucking videos on my channel. It's like, I don't feel like I'm doing enough on Carnival Spirits, but on the same hand, I know I've done a lot on Carnival Spirits because I was doing backwards. I was doing the reverse messages for a long time, and I started doing the What's Happening Now videos, and I still do those. I just got to wait for them to put out a Hatchet Herald, but there's a battle I need to actually post up. I posted on Facebook like back in February for a battle of Hell's Pit versus Wicked versus the KOD album. Who has the darker album, Tech Nine, Twisted, or ICP? And I've still got to do like what you would call the result video for that. And I know I need to step it up. But um, Chaos, I think you're very thought invoking with your videos. I have one complaint with your videos though. You need to speak up. That's my big a long time. Speak up. I can't hear you. Yes, the war videos. That was that was an idea that Beastmaster had back in 2014 when For the Fam Volume 2 came out by Twisted. He wanted to do a hangout where, or no, not a hangout, I'm sorry. He wanted to do a review where people submitted videos of them reviewing that mixtape. And he was going to compile all the clips together into one big ass review. I guess a lot of people didn't end up sending clips in. Whatever happened, the idea, the project never came out. So I told Beastmaster this past fall that I wanted to take that idea because he called it War back then. We all review. I said I want to bring that back, but since at the time, we were doing every Saturday afternoon so much, I was like, this is another live show we can bring, and it will include the chat. It'll include whoever's watching because we're gonna all review this album together in a hangout. So that was where the War came from. It was originally his idea that I reinvigorated and put into the series that we have now. And we've done a few. We've done a few. I know Shanzi had said something about wanting to do a review or a War on Boondocks album. So that's definitely something to look forward to in the future. Once again, it's all about matching up our schedules. So shit. Madrox Monoxide says he sees on Wikipedia that they actually have a release date listed for Shapeshifter. I hope so. I was informed by a homie who is on the Psychopathic Street team that it was a scrapped project. So, being that he's on the street team, I took what he had with some credit, believed him, not saying he's not right. So, I'm hoping that we'll finally see a Shapeshifter release. But right as of right now, I have a credible source telling me it's not going to happen. So, much clown love, J Town Juggalo. We do need to do War on the Murder. Mashanzi works a very fucked up shift, and so do I. It seems like his days off are the 2 nights that I actually have to work late. The rest of the week, I'm opening. Friday nights are like the best night for me to do anything because I'm off Saturdays. I work 5 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon. So, which it's fucking 9:33 right now. I've been up for what, 18 hours? Yeah, like Max just said, anyone can put anything on Wiki. So I'm gonna stick with my source right now and say that Shapeshifter is still scrapped. I've never heard the Golden Goldies. I would love to. If you know where I can listen to it. I've never heard the Juggalo show. I actually the old school one from the radio show that they had before Psychopathic Radio. I had somebody that was supposed to send me some audio files and stuff, but they had complications. So because he asked me to do a review, and I said I've never heard of it. I don't own it. Typically, I like to review what I own. That's why you'll never see me do a review of something digital. For the most part, I have had to a few times, but that's why you'll never see me do a review before I own the album. That to me irks me, and not only that, but I kind of follow the format that I learned from Psychopathic Reviews, and that's to show off what's in the album. So I like to have physical copies of shit that I review.
Hey,
Hmm.
you did a review of the mouth, or did you even try it yet?
True. I love the Purple Show. I wish they would do a second one, but I remember them stating in an interview that it was either an interview or a seminar that they had no plans to, no intentions at all of doing a second one. But who knows? They may do it now. They're doing things so much more differently on Magic Ninja. You know, things they said long ago they'd never do, they're doing now. I would love to hear a new Killa album because it's been a while. And I think Medicine Bag is, to me, in my opinion, Medicine Bag is some of his best work. I really enjoy it. And so to hear that Shapeshifter was scrapped, total letdown. Um, just had a thought come across me. What does everybody think of the album cover for Fuck the Fuck Off, Motherfucker? So, I mean, if you guys have been subscribed to me for a while, you know album covers are a big deal for me. So I'm gonna wait till you guys hear my question and see what some of you guys are saying before I reveal my thoughts. I love watching documentaries, so I'm not a big KMK fan, but I might check that. I might check that out. I just enjoy watching documentaries all around, especially band documentaries. Like I watched the one for the Eagles that they had on Netflix, both parts. I watched the one they had on Tom Petty. I enjoy learning that history of a band. So see if I can find it real quick. There we go. I'm going to speak on it. I don't even have it in front of me. I mean, I saw it, but I want to have it in front of me if I'm going to do this little review of it. Um, I honestly don't know what to think of this cover. It's different. You know, the first one you had him flipping off. The second one he was getting drenched in Faygo, and the third one he's just kind of standing there like, what? I guess I don't really care for the way he's dressed. I think if he was wearing clothing, like some actual clothing, I would like it a little more. Other than that, I think it's a perfectly fine album cover. It's just the way he's standing, the way he's looking, and everything like that. He needs some clothes on. That's what's killing it for me, I think. Screen share. I can't screen share because I'm looking at it on my phone. Sister, sister cracks me up. She's like, you know how to reach me. Come to confession. That's awesome, man. I know Sista doesn't fuck with Facebook, but I think if she ever did, she should make a group or a page and just call it the confession booth. And that would be where you come to speak with the confess your sins or ask for advice. Yes, he holds his nuts, but he still flips off. I wasn't too terribly off. Come on. Fuck. Yeah, I mean, the background colors are cool. That's just what's killing it for me. It's the fact that he's like half naked. I guess they were painting this awesome epic picture with all these Instagram photos and videos that they've been putting of him in the studio, and I'm like getting hype. And they put out this album cover, and I was kind of like, it's okay. It's an okay album cover. I guess go along with all this epic hype we're getting. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on the album cover. I think it's cool. the angle the angle of the axis he's holding is to draw your eyes to his crotch. Maybe that's what my problem is. Hang on, I gotta pull it back up now. I already done closed out of it. Yes, okay, I see what you're saying now. I don't know. I don't care for his outfit. That's what's just bugging me, and it's bugging me more than it should. I shouldn't even fucking care about what he's wearing. Fuck the fuck off, motherfucker, if you don't like it, right? Well, guys, it's like 9:42 in the evening where I live. I think I'm gonna wrap this up. So if you guys have any final thoughts, questions, or anything you want me to address before I leave, do so now or forever hold your peace. Let's say you need to fucks with the Facebook again. That way you can join the Ninjas in Action group and mingle with us there. Let's see. I definitely liked Fuck the Fuck Off more than The Shining. You really can't, for me, I don't think you can compare Fuck Off and Wizard of the Hood because, Fuck Off only has 4 tracks and Wizard of the Hood has more. And Wizard of the Hood was a concept album that was fucking amazing. So for me, let's just compare The Shining and Fuck the Fuck Off. Yeah, Fuck the Fuck Off to me was a better album. I liked it more anyway. All right. Peace, Texas Juggalo. I'm going to start calling you Tex. Can I call you Tex? Whoop, whoop. Much clown love. J-Town Juggalo. There's a new Fisticuffs track featuring Shaggy 2 Dope. Yeah, I saw that. OG Juggalo made a video about it. That's cool. Fisticuffs, actually, yeah. Speaking of Fisticuffs and psychopathic reviews, he's kind of been the topic of this hangout a little bit. I guess he knows him personally. I think The Shining proves that Shaggy's essential to ICP, even though a lot of people say otherwise by bringing up that Jay does 80% of ICP's vocals. I don't know. I don't know how to respond to that. But I definitely enjoy ICP albums more than I enjoy the solo albums for sure. But for me, and to me, to compare The Shining and Fuck the Fuck Off, I think I think Shaggy does well on his own because, like you say, 80% of ICP's vocals are done by Jay. So when you hear a Shaggy solo, it's very different and unique. When you hear a Jay album, it's not too far out of the norm of hearing an ICP album. It's just differently themed or titled. So I think that's the element that Shaggy brings in his albums. It's that uniqueness of we don't get to hear very much from Shaggy in ICP, and here we're getting all Shaggy. Thank you, sister. I will. I'm sure you've been hearing her cough in the background. I gave her my cold. My nephews gave me a cold last Saturday. Well, they gave it to me before that, but it didn't kick in till last Saturday, and then Monday, Meg started coming down with the symptoms, and she glared right at me. You. Yep. Me. All right. So I haven't seen any further questions, so I'm probably going to go ahead and head out now. Thank you guys for joining me. And one thing I did want to mention, also that's been on my mind, the DCG Con photobomb contest they have going on. I'm sure a lot of people might have noticed that I was actually one of my thumbnails. It was my Into the Echo Side review thumbnail was actually part of the pictures on that contest flyer. And a lot of people brought it to my attention. So to everybody who saw it and recognized me, I say thank you, because being on the flyer was dope, but the fact that so many people brought it to my attention tells me that a lot of people recognize me, which means I got a lot of followers, and that's humbling to me. Being on the flyer is awesome, but having people recognize me is even more awesome, because without them recognizing me, I am just a face. I'm just a face on a flyer. So thank you guys to everybody that's been following me, showing me love. I appreciate it greatly. And yeah, so thank you guys for joining me today. Hopefully I'll do more of these in the future. This was kind of an experimental thing. My first little just chill and kick it with the chat. Take a fucking Faygo break, even though I'm sipping on water. So hope you guys have a great weekend, and take care of yourselves. Much clown love. Whoop, whoop.